6 months to 3 months or more. I think 6 months is the safest. 6 months of your salary. Now it can take you a year to accomplish this. That's fine. It can even take you more than a year. But you have 6 months worth of your savings locked into an account. Uh, this is like others will say it's not a financial advice, but this is me sharing my opinion. So remember, I said first you must save before spending. Number two, the short-term savings, and and number three is long-term savings. For number two, save 6 months of your salary, worth of your salary, into an account, and you lock it. You would only take from this account when there's an emergency. So still under emergency savings, there would now be money you are setting aside for immediate monthly expenditure, so miscellaneous. So say you have 100K, you earn 100K in a month, you should have 600K saved in account permanently where you lock. So if you have a major incident, for example, Lagos State government just comes and says, "Oh, the house you rented with your money is under lock and key. They want to bring down the house or a major emergency, you can pull out of that savings and pay for it." So most times it's advised that you put that kind of money maybe in a mutual fund where it's easy for you to remove to access it, or you lock it in a 3 months savings account, or in a 3 months target savings account, 3 or 6 months. And for some platform, they allow you to withdraw half of that money. So I think that's good. You can put it in a high savings account where you can withdraw within 3 months, where you can withdraw half of the amount. Then still under number two, which is short-term savings. Remember, we're looking at somebody earning 100K. So the first rule is save up to 600K. So to achieve that, you might be saving maybe 50K a month. If you save 50K a month, by the end of the year, you should have 600K saved, locked. It's not for 30 December, it's not for January spending, it's not for clothes, it's locked down. And you can continue doing this over and over again. And then, depending on, Mr. Lad is going to speak more about that, depending on your risk appetite or how you want, or your goal, maybe you want to, like me, save to be paid dividend little by little, or you want to, you're not married, you don't have a child yet, you don't have so much responsibility, you can take high risk, you want to be bullish, you can take everything, maybe put it in forex, wait for it to go up a bit to draw everything, depending on what you want. And then you can now have, still under the 100K salary, you can now be saving 10K, 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 10K monthly again. This one is for miscellaneous. After you do your budgeting and all of that, you just have, for example, I've used my miscellaneous savings for this month now 2 times. I've had to take out of it because my budgeting and calculation exceeded my plan for this month. It looks like October was longer than the other. So I had to take from my miscellaneous savings to make payments here and there. So there are times when I tell people, sorry, I can't help you at the moment. It's not because I'm weak, it's because I genuinely do not have the money allocated for giving again. So I have the money allocated for giving that I do every year, every month. Family members, random people, whatever, I just have it. So if you ask, I give. If I don't have it again, I say I'm sorry, or I just give them a particular amount and say this is how much I can help. So out of that 100K, say you're saving 50K every month, or depending on how strong you are, 30, you should have another miscellaneous savings, say 5,000 every month. And just keeping it somewhere. You're not going to spend the immediately, but you just have it down. Then the third one is long-term savings. This is where you can lock a particular amount to be debited and do for 5 years. You just lock the amount. It keeps debiting you, keep debiting you every month. Whether you breathe, whether you sleep, whether you're awake or you are playing, it just keeps debiting you. You can put it down for a long period of time. This long savings is supposed to be what you use the law of compound interest to get. So as you keep saving, the interest rate that you are saving, the long-term money, adds up to your principal. It keeps adding. So the law of compound interest is 2 times 2, which is 4. 4 times 4, which is 8. So it's not 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. No. Compound interest is like 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 4 is 8. Now, but before you get to that point, it will take a long time. But you are saving, normally long term saving should be like 10 years, 15 years. For some of us, I had to learn this. I was more of the short term saving kind of person for a long period of time. 1 year, 2 years max. I saved that money for a project. In my early years, I used many of my savings for accreditations, exams. It's now that I'm beginning to say, okay, let's start. So I wasn't buying stocks, I wasn't buying that. I was just saving to write exams, saving to get certification because I had a goal then, a 5 year goal. I said I wanted to grow and become a manager in 5 years. That was my goal then. So that was what I was pursuing for. Remember, I said earlier that your savings culture also depend on your goal. So that's it for savings. Then the next one is investment, which Mr. Motala is going to speak about, but I'll just say you invest for various reasons. You invest maybe as an active person in the investment market, or you just want to invest and keep money and just wait for it to compound in 5, 10 years, or you're investing for your child or whatever. She's going to speak a lot about it. Also, risk appetite, risk assets, your portfolio. She's going to do a lot about it on investment. The third thing is insurance. This is a part that many people are not aware of. Now, if you are able to, in these three things, savings, investment, and insurance, if you're able to build up a structure around it, by the way, you can start now, you can start this month, this October, they're about to pay you salary. Like I told you, for me, I was not investing in a lot of assets for long term. I was saving for short-term projects. So short-term for me was 1 year, 2 year. So don't think you are left behind. No. The fact that you are hearing this is good. You are not too late. If you're in your 20s or in your 30s, it's still very much good because by the help of God, you still have a long way to go. If you are able to structure your money when you're earning 50, 100, 500, 600, 1 million, 2 million, whatever, as you keep growing, your income will grow. A time will come when you earning 50 million will not be a thing you'll be shocked about. But because of the structure you built while you were earning little, that money will be put to good use. And then there's insurance. Insurance is supposed to help you to avoid breaking your 6 month emergency savings all the time. Let me come again. Insurance is like an edge. Uh, Finance is actually interesting, except the part where I start using calculator. So insurance is like an edge or a future. I hope I use that financial term well, where you protect yourself from unforeseen emergencies. So what insurance does is insurance. So you can use insurance to protect your savings. You can use insurance to protect your investments. So see insurance like money you are using to protect money. What do I mean? There are basic things you should have insurance for. For example, car insurance, health insurance, life insurance. Let me just stop there. Car insurance, health insurance, life insurance. Now, the good thing about this is there are various insurance policies. I think I will bring an insurance person on Wisdom class very soon. Now, there are various insurance policies that you can buy. If you are blessed enough to work in an organization that they are already paying your HMO, you are lucky because you have your health insurance covered and maybe your life insurance. And if you have an official car, your car insurance covered. So there are insurance policies from 10,000 every month. And they can cover you for the tune of say 500K or 400K. There are various insurance policies. I think I will bring an insurance person on the call soon, maybe next month. But next month is going to be more structured. There are going to be a series of teachers. We are going to have like 7 to 8 weeks. I'm going to pick a particular area for personal development and focus on it. So finance, personal development, and career goals. I'll just pick that season speakers going to be about 7 to 8 sessions, in-depth class, but it's going to be paid for. It's not going to be this free. And then we will now teach you practically how. So, for example, if I know I didn't tell her before, but if our finance expert, Mr. Motolan, is on the teachers of first aid, all this, she will show you dashboard, literally show you, okay, this is how you can invest, this is how you can do it. All what we are saying here is just the foundational level. There's still more to it. So investment, you can the investments you can pay 10,000 naira for, the investments you can pay 20,000 naira for a month that will cover you for a season. So what happens is, imagine you have a minor accident and you need to go to the hospital. The HMO will cover it. You know how to break from your miscellaneous savings, the long-term savings, or that your 6 months salary savings. You won't need to break it. And the beautiful thing about it is a circle you can cut. You say you save 6 months of your salary, you use it. You can start all over again. You can start all over again, start over again. This is something I do. You can start over again. Use the money for something big. And you can start over again. So you insure, say you have a car insurance, if the car develops fault, apart from your regular servicing, which will not cost you a lot, depending on the car you have, it can cost you 60K, 70K, 80K. And the good thing of car servicing is you get to do it once in 2 to 3 months, depending on how well you use the car. So if there's an accident on your car, your third party insurance now has used to be 5K for insurance and then covers you 500. Now is about 15,000 for third party, and it can cover damage up to 1.5. That's the damage of another person. However, there are some insurance companies that have third-party insurance that cover both your car and the car of the other person, but at a limited amount. So say whatever damage happens to your car, the insurance company will not do more than maybe 500,000. While for the external car, they do 1.5, whatever. Same thing with your health. All of a sudden, you have to be rushed to the hospital. There are policies or plans that the HMO can help you cover. And then when it comes to life insurance, you have a loved one, and all of a sudden you have to go to heaven. But your life insurance will be paid to the people who you left behind. It will help them accommodate the excesses or the expenses that may come at the loss of an individual. You can also investment also is for school fees. So while you are yet to be married, you can open a school fees plan with an insurance company and you're paying 5K. I did a life insurance for 3 or 4 years. I was paying 10,000 naira every month. Mind you, it was very manual. It was part of the money I used for my wedding expenses. I did not even know. I just did it. I just did. It was monthly life insurance, life assurance plan. I was paying 10K every month. So it was supposed to be for 5 years. At the end of the 5 year, they'll pay me an interest on it. I can choose to continue it or not. So it was that money that I withdrew. It was part of the money I withdrew during my wedding plans. I didn't know if it was going to come in handy. Now that I'm saying it, I think I should do another one again. But you just have these plans. And then the beautiful thing about it is it can be automated. So you save long term, short term, you invest short term, long term as well. And the beautiful thing about investment is either is mutual fund, which some other I'm going to speak about. I don't want to talk a lot about it. And then you can use investment to protect your savings. You can use you can use insurance to protect. Mind you, insurance is also a form of investment because there's an interest that will be paid to you. So you can zero or you can pinpoint your money activity around these three major pillars. This is one of the reasons. There are many principles to money as well, but I think you can use this. So savings, insurance, and investment. So tell yourself, so what are the three things I will do this month under this pillar? Savings, investment, insurance. For example, I have a policy of for every 5K, 10K, I will just spread it abroad my investment portfolio. It might be small, but I am trying to train myself because I believe, I ask myself a question. If I have 100 million today, how will I spread the money? If I have 10 million today, How will I spread the money? If I have 1 million that is free, like I don't have anything that I'm doing with it, which is very impossible in this time of my life. But if I have 1 million that's free, I don't have anything to do with it. I should be able to build a structure where I know that the money will go into beautiful investment instruments. It is on this note that we hand over to our speaker for tonight. All I just did is an introduction. Our speaker for tonight, Mr. Motolani, is going to speak about financial intelligence in the area of investment, and also she will put a little bit about savings as well. Please, can we with our digital hand clap for Mr. Motolani as she takes us, and then she's going to answer some of your questions as well. Can we clap for her? Can I see your digital hands, everyone, in the chat section, in the chat box? Use the clapping emoji, use the clapping emoji. Okay, I think I started with the prayer emoji, so other people, you can use the clapping emoji.
Thank you,
Yes.
thank you. Thank you, everyone.
You can go ahead now.
All right, thank you, sir. Thank you for the opportunity. Good evening, everyone. Once again, please permit me to share my screen. Just give me a few minutes. So Pastor already touched on savings, so I will not go so much into that. But there's an important topic that I think we should start with or lay a foundation with, which is, let me just go to the next slide. All right, so there's something I usually say that money management is about three things. Pastor also mentioned three things, but of course my own does not involve insurance. So I believe that money management is about three things: making money, managing money, and then multiplying money, which is investing. So the hallmark, the basic foundation before we even jump into investing or even saving is making money. And I feel like it's a topic that we don't typically dwell on enough, and is equally important because the higher you earn, the more you are able to save, and the more you are able to invest, and the more money you make. So it's a cycle. So I'll give you a typical example. So for somebody that is earning maybe 100,000 naira, max you can save, let's say you're a single person, is maybe 50,000. Say you want to save 50% of your earnings, 50,000. But for somebody that earns 500,000 or 1 million naira, they're able to save their own 10% or 20% is even more than somebody that is earning 100,000 naira. So they are able to save more if they are financially responsible, and they are able to invest more. So it's very important that we prioritize earning more, earning more. So we have to set a goal. It's very important that you set a goal for yourself every year to earn more, And I know that, because the way the economy is, there's this mindset that, oh, how can I even earn more? What do I do? You can actually earn more, you can upskill. So if, for example, as a career person, you can look for areas of your career or areas of your profession that are highly that receive high monetary reward. So the way money works is money flows in a direction of value. So the more value you are able to give, the more money you make. So that's how it is. So you have to make yourself valuable. You have to continually make yourself valuable. So for example, look at yourself, do a skill audit or do a personal audit and ask yourself that, can I earn 2 million naira? Do I have the skills that is required to earn 1 million naira or 500,000 naira, and begin to work towards it, begin to upskill? If you're a business person as well, as my business, have I presented my business in a way that I can charge somebody 2 million naira, or I can charge somebody a certain amount? So, but it's very important. It's very important that every year you set a target for yourself to earn more income, earn more income. So the major types of income, are typically business income, or earn income, you give your time in exchange for money. So either way, you have to constantly set a goal for you to make more money. And that's how you expand your capacity. So you have to constantly expand your capacity. And your capacity is not only even in your skills, it's also in your mind. There's some of us that believe that we can never earn a certain amount. So you have to let go of that belief that because Nigeria is hard or Nigeria is a certain way, I can never earn. There are people that believe that they can never earn in dollars. So you have to let go of those belief systems that you cannot earn a certain amount, you cannot get a certain job. There are some graduates that I speak to, and they will tell you that you can never get a job in oil and gas. Meanwhile, I know people that started their career in oil and gas, and they did not know anybody. They didn't have any connections, they did not know any politician, and they got it by merit. So it shows you that there's nothing that is impossible for you, especially as a believer. So don't have limiting mindsets when it comes to money. Yeah, you should be content because the Bible says that contentment with godliness is great gain. But at the same time, always expand your thinking. Don't limit yourself with your mind. Don't believe that there's nothing that's too much for you to achieve or to attain, especially when it comes to your finances. So I decided to dwell on this because I think that is quite important. Like one of my mentors will say that you cannot save yourself out of poverty. Sometimes you may need to earn more. There are some people that do not have spending problem, they have an income problem. So you are not able to save, not because you don't have a good saving habit, but because you are not even earning enough. So it's important that as we walk through all of this, we also have it at the back of our minds that we should earn more. Like I said, the more you earn, the more you are able to save, and the more you are able to invest. The cycle, continues. So I'll just move into investment proper because of our time. So Pastor has already talked about managing money, doing your budget, saving. So I'll just go into investment proper. But before I go on, I would like to establish some rules for investing. I know that this may sound cliche or it's something that you've heard many times before. Somebody has said, you have heard it many times, but they are quite important so that you don't make costly mistakes. So the first of it is that do not invest in what you do not understand. It is very important that you do not, if you would rather not invest, you are better off not investing than investing in something that you don't even understand. You don't understand the market, you don't understand the entry or the exit, you don't understand market fluctuations. You just want to invest because other people are investing or it looks good on paper. So whatever it is that you do not invest, you do not understand, do not invest in it. Then secondly, do not put all your eggs in one basket. This one is a golden rule of investing. Why? Because there are sometimes that markets can be volatile. So for example now, let's say you put all your money that you have in the stock market. Today, for example, I was checking market and it was red all through. Most of the top stocks were red. Like they were making losses all through the day. So imagine if all your money was there, you would have had IBP by the end of today. So it's very important that you diversify. There's a way you can diversify that doesn't over dilute your portfolio, but you can still diversify. Thirdly, investment is not a quick rich scheme. So it's not a scheme that will make you rich overnight. I think in this part of the world, generally, we have this mindset of getting rich overnight. Let me just blow. I just wake up in the morning and let me just do something that will give me 100 million. I will go from 0 to 100. Is it possible? Yes, because God, we can do all things according to Christ that strengthens us. And we have a God, that can provide for us. So, but at the same time, don't think of investing as something that will make you rich overnight. Is a process. Wealth building is a process, is a strategy on its own. So you have to be strategic about it and intentional. And then fourth point, hey, our time. fear of missing out is not an investment plan. I've seen a lot of fear of missing out, especially on social media. Oh, I should have bought Aradel. Oh, I should have bought what's this stock? I should have bought it at this price, because everybody is doing it. Because everybody is talking about the stock market, everybody is investing in the stock market, even without understanding the market. Everybody is buying crypto. Oh, I must buy crypto as well because, oh, this coin is doing well. So it's very important that you do not invest out of the fear of missing out. It's better for you to have two instruments that you can go to bed at night and sleep rather than putting your money in something that you will not be able to sleep at night. Also invest what you can afford to lose, especially in high risk assets. So also before you invest, you should know your risk appetite, know how much risk you are willing to take. This is actually quite important. So if your risk appetite is low, you should not be investing in certain assets. Then know whether you have a medium risk appetite or a high risk appetite. So this information, they may seem cliche, they may seem like you've heard them over and over again, but it's actually important for you to hear them over and over again because they are quite important. You can't build a house on a shaky foundation. So it's very important. They are the core foundation, for investing. So even if you are already an investor, there are things that you should be familiar with so that they will guide you, in your decisions. So going on to investment proper. So there are different types of investment, different types of markets. There's the equity market, the capital market, and there's the money market. So the money market is a market where short-term instruments are traded. Like Pastor said, instruments that are within 6 months to 1 year or maximum of 2 years. While the capital market is a market for long-term instruments like the stock market, like stocks, bonds, long-term bonds, they are traded in the capital market. So I'll start with stocks. So I'm a big fan of equity. I believe that some of the richest people in the world trade equity, both private and public equity. So it's very important that as a young person, you have, even if not adequate knowledge, a little bit knowledge of the stock market and how it works. So how can you buy stocks in Nigeria? So you can buy both local and foreign stocks. So the NGX, the Nigerian Stock Exchange, is the body, that is responsible for the stock market in Nigeria. And they provide the platform, they provide the market, for people to trade stocks. So thanks to technology, there are so many applications that now allow you to trade stocks over your phone. So it has made it easier for you. So another question, so I know the question that will come to your mind is, okay, which stocks should I buy? So instead of going into deep analysis, so there's something I typically do. So instead of bugging myself with doing technical analysis, reading financial statements, because you may not really have the time to sit with financial statements of certain companies and be reading them. If you're not an accountant, you'll probably be confused. So there's something I would like to share that can help you. So most stockbrokers share recommendations. So I typically use Trade. I use the Meristem. Where is it? Why can't I find it? Okay, let me see if I can share this. Work with this. No. It's not what I want to share. Just give me 1 second, please. Uh, good over time. All right. So there's something called stock recommendation. So for example, Meristem, they have professionals. They have a group of professionals that carry out, their job is to carry out research on the stock market every week, and they issue a report on the performance of every stock that is listed on the stock market. And they give you advice on, what to buy, what to hold, the trajectory of some of these stocks, the current price, the current trading price, and the potential price and the potential upside as well. So this UPP is the upside. So for example, I'll take an example of, let me see, UCAP, for example. So if you look at the upside, so Merisem is saying that UCAP has a likelihood of making 48%, but 48% increase in the next few weeks or in the next few months. So they've recommended, oh, you can buy UCAP. And they also recommend stocks that you can hold, stocks that you can sell. And they also highlight specific ones. For example, for this week, they've recommended Mutual Benefit, Nigerian Breweries, and Zenith Bank, and they've provided the reasons, for you. They've done their research, they provided the reasons. So this helps me personally, to look at stocks to buy and to hold. And I know Bamboo also does, something similar. So this is something you can work with on, and they share it on a weekly basis. So you don't have to stress yourself too much, or try to crack your head about what stocks, to invest in. Are the stocks always going to follow the trend that they have, that they have analyzed? It may not, but most likely, I know that I've followed some of those advice, and I was able to get very good stocks. Another thing I want to mention is that equity is high risk. So you can literally watch your portfolio go from 100 to 0, or from 0 to 100. So you have to have a strong mind, to be able to invest in the stock market. And then also, lastly, um, for you to make good money from the stock market, you have to be able to trade. So I believe that trading is one of the best ways to make good use of the stock market. So the stock goes up, comes down, like how the market was read today. It's a good opportunity for people to buy stock, because by tomorrow, investors will rally, and some of those stock prices will go up again, and you would have made a spread. So I'm not going to go deep into trading. I'll leave it for my oga, Mr. Lekon. He's the expert here, but from my own experience, I mean, I can give you some advice. So if you want to make good use of the stock market, you can trade. You can also hold. As at the beginning of the year, there were some banking stocks that were running at a loss, but by now, by mid-year, they had picked up again. So you can also hold long term. You can get long-term value from certain growth stocks as well. So it's quite important. I usually say that as a young person, you should not, be missing out on the stock market. You can also invest in S&Ps, foreign S&Ps. The S&P has done maybe 50 to 60% this year. So there are also foreign stocks that you can invest in. So you can download applications like RiseVest, like Bamboo. They will give you recommendations as well. So that would help you with your choice. So let me quickly run through the other types of investments because of our time. So there are mutual funds. I think Pastor had spoken a bit about this. So mutual funds is basically, let me use layman's terms, it's basically like a job. It's like people putting their money together, doing a job, and then you invest in something. That's the difference. So it's just a pool of funds from different investors that is invested in either stocks, bonds, or other assets like treasury bills. So you can invest in mutual funds on Cowrywise, AXA Mansard, Wealth Body, Stanbic. All of these, investment banks, they have their applications. So you can invest in mutual funds with as little as 10,000 naira. You can get started investing in mutual funds. But equity mutual funds are a bit risky, even though they do well. They do well based on the performance of the market. You can also try that. So for people that don't want to invest in the stock market directly, you don't want to go through all that stress of figuring out what to invest in, you can invest in equity mutual fund. So here, in this case, the investment manager or investment firm is the one selecting a bucket of stocks, and then you just invest in it. So they will manage the portfolio while you earn your returns I think on a daily basis, just like every other mutual fund. Then treasury bills. Treasury bills are short-term instruments issued by the Central Bank of Nigeria. I typically say that treasury bills is one of the one of the most risk-free investments. You can literally invest in treasury bills and then go to sleep. Though the rates have come down a bit, but it's still a very good investment. I usually advise it, especially for people that have a lot of money. For the sake of capital protection, you can look into treasury bills. And because it's backed up by the federal government, most treasury bills, it's rare for you to hear that government is unable to pay back. You're borrowing money to the government, and government will pay you back. Worst case scenario, they'll print money to pay you back. So it's largely risk-free, largely risk-free investment. Then you can also invest in real estate. You can invest in real estate in different forms. So you can buy and sell property. I think that's the major, way to invest in real estate. And for young people, I usually say, just like the stock market, we have to look at opportunities in real estate. I mean, I've seen things happen in real estate. I've seen real estate turn people to overnight multimillionaires, literally. But of course, you have to do your research. So before you buy land anywhere, before you invest in any real estate products, it's very important that you do your research. I will give you practical examples. I had a friend that is big into, real estate investments, and I've seen him invest in land that was maybe 1 million naira some few years back, or maybe 2 to 3 million naira. And some of those properties now are valued at 18 million or even 20 million naira just in a few years. So real estate has the potential, to protect your money against inflation and to also help you multiply, your money as well. But it comes with its own risks. You can also invest. So if you don't want to buy property directly, if you feel that, oh, I don't have enough money to buy a piece of property because of the cost, you can invest in what's it called, real estate mutual fund. You can invest in properties online. I mean, Piggyvest particularly, they usually have what's it called? They usually have real estate opportunities where you can invest and then you get a particular sum, maybe after 1 year or after 6 months, and then you get paid an interest. So another thing, you can buy real estate as a group. I know a group of people that invest together, buy properties somewhere, and then resell, at a later date. But of course, you have to be careful, because we're in Nigeria. So you have to be sure that you are doing business with people that are trustworthy. You can also invest in foreign real estate on RiseVest. I think the rate is about 20 to 21% per annum to invest in real estate in the UK. And the interest is in pounds, so the investment is in pounds. So you can make, for those that are looking for investments in foreign currency, you can also look at opportunities in that space. Then there's the high yield savings. So instead of keeping your money in your bank accounts and the bank is paying you maybe 3%, that's the highest interest that the bank can afford to pay you, or even less. I think it's even less now. So that's what the bank will pay you. So there are many fintechs now that offer opportunities for you to save, fix your savings, and then get a certain percentage. So you can explore WealthBuddy, Cowrywise, Piggyvest, Bankly, PalmPay. So all of these applications, you can download them online, register with your BVN and get started, investing. It's way better than leaving, your money in your bank account. And if you are scared, you can look at, if you are worried that maybe the fintech will close up one day and then you lose your money, you can look at their licensing. That's very important. So what's it called? What authority are they registered with? So we have so for investments in Nigeria what's it called? The investments in Nigeria are regulated by Securities and Exchange Commission. So you can look at some of them. You can check them online if they are registered with SEC. So if they are registered with SEC, they are registered with CBN to a large extent. they are regulated, so you can trust them. But like I said, of course, don't put all your eggs in one basket. That's quite important. So you have, I think, World Body offers as high as 17% or 18% per annum on fixed lock. So you can also check that out if it has not come down. Another type of investment you can look at commercial papers. So commercial papers in layman's terms is basically companies coming to borrow from you. So for example, Dangote is coming to borrow from you and I to fund his working capital, to fund his everyday operations. So there are some businesses that they don't have cash, not because they don't have assets, but they have assets that, are not easily converted into cash. For example, Dangote has put all his money in his refinery, so he's majorly cashless. So he has been borrowing a lot. Dangote has been issuing a lot of commercial papers lately. And commercial papers offer between 21 to sometimes 26% within the tenure of 180 days or maximum of 1 year, the short-term investment. So you can check that out. It's typically private, so most times, unless somebody that works in an investment bank shares with you, you may likely not know, or your bank shares with you. So you can explore banks. I know Meristem Capital, they issue commercial papers, ARM, UBA, I Invest as well. You can also invest in bonds, in government bonds. So the federal government issue bonds. So bonds are similar to treasury bills because they are also issued by the federal government. The major differences are that bonds are longer term. So you can see bonds of 2 to 3 years with interest about sometimes 17%, 18%, depending on the national interest rate. Depending on the CBN interest rate. So you can invest in bonds as well. And the good thing with bonds is that your interest is paid on a quarterly basis. And then for treasury bills, your interest is paid upfront. So as you're investing in treasury bills, you are getting your interest. So you can invest it. For example, if you invest, let's say you invest 100 million, I like to use big figures in treasury bills and you make 19 million, you can put your 19 million in another investment. You can put it in the stock market, make more money. You understand the drill. So you can invest in bonds as well, get your coupons quarterly. So you can use applications like investment banks like Meristem, UCAP, Coronation. You can also invest in bonds through your stockbrokers. So you would constantly see that the debt management office would issue a bond periodically. I think they've issued about 2 to 3 bonds, federal government bonds this year. So just like treasury bills, they are basically low risk. The risk is low because they are backed, by the government. Then there are also alternative assets. Alternative assets have actually been doing a lot, lately, but if your mind cannot carry it, I would advise that you don't do it because they are highly volatile. So alternative assets are basically assets that are traded on markets that are not the capital markets or the money markets. That's why they are called alternative assets. So they are traded on other markets that are not as structured as the money market or the capital market. So you can invest in cryptocurrency. I mean, I have some crypto coins, so I'm not going to advise you not to invest in a crypto market, but it can be highly volatile. I was reading online some days ago how somebody had invested in a meme coin and he lost his entire portfolio because of the announcements that President Trump had made. The guy lost his entire portfolio was wiped out in one night. And the guy said, he was never going to come near crypto again. So it can be highly volatile, but you can, also make something out of it. The coins that this, so you can look at stable coins that are stable, like the Bitcoin or the Ethereum. They are quite stable, or the Solana. So you can look at, some of those coins and just play around it. Don't put money that you cannot afford to lose so that you don't put a gun to my head. Okay, so you can look at Bitcoin. You can download Binance or download what's this Roku app, the Nigerian, version. You can download Roku. You can look at Binance too and see how you can see the trends on most of these applications. You see the trends of the coins, what they've done over the years. I mean, Bitcoin has been quite stable. ETH has been stable as well over the years. Then you can also invest in gold. I mean, gold performance this year has been awesome. I mean, there are some gold assets that have done as high as 60%, 70%, from the beginning of the year till now. So you can also invest in gold on Bamboo. Bamboo offers gold. You can check Dukia Gold as well. So you can invest in gold EFTs, even on the Nigerian Stock Exchange. You can also invest in companies that deal in gold. Or you can also do physical gold. I mean, you can buy gold physically and keep them, and then when they increase in value, you say our mothers used to do that a lot. So with this, it's past 9 already. With this few points of mine, hope I've been able to convince you to invest and not confuse you. So I will now take questions. Hope I've not been talking to myself and you guys have learned one or two things. Am I the only one on this call? Am I still here? Thank you, sir. So questions. All of us are professional investors. I should learn from you.
We welcome questions. We need 2 questions because of time.
Yes,
Welcome
because
to
of time.
2 questions.
Questions.
Please raise up your digital hand if you have a question. So you just unmute and ask directly instead of waiting to. Any question? I do not want to believe we don't have question.
My people they are doing well. Investors are business. Well, I think Brodo maybe has his hand up.
Okay, brother, please go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Sister Tolani, for this wonderful session. I wanted to ask, is there how do you make decisions on what to invest in? I joined a bit late. I don't know maybe if you've covered that before, or is it just based on purely research or divine inspiration, or what is your approach to investing?
Okay, thank you, Brodo. That's actually a very good question. So I use both. I mean, uh, it's very important that we're Christians, we're children of God, and we are led by the Spirit of God. So even in your investment or financial decisions, I strongly advise that you should be led by the Spirit of God. So, however, you can also do some research. I mean, there are investment companies that they deal in investment management, so you can look at some of their research documents, read online, follow certain communities for information on certain investments. And that can also help you, to make your decision, of course, prayerfully as well. So it also depends on what your goals are, what you want to achieve. So if, for example, you want to have an aggressive portfolio, you want to make a lot of money, you would have to look at stock market. You have to look at stock, or whether local or foreign stocks. If you need an aggressive portfolio because you're trying to make a lot of money. But if your goal is just to preserve, your capital, you don't want to do too much, you don't want to be too aggressive, you want to, have medium investment, you can just, explore opportunities in money markets like the treasury bills, government bonds, or the mutual funds, or even the commercial papers as well. You can just look at instruments that are within, at the end of it all, it depends on your goal and what you want to achieve. Does that answer your
Thank you
question?
so much. I appreciate you.
All right. I think somebody has a question in the chat box. What investment is most suitable for a student? Well, it depends on the student. There are some students that have more money than Like even people that are working. But basically, for a student, so that you not go and use your school fees to invest in stock market. So you can explore, you can look at mutual funds, safe investments, basically. So you can look at mutual funds, you can try the stock market as well, you can try real estate, investments that allow you to invest a small amount of money. So you can just explore that. With 5,000, 10,000, you can invest in some mutual funds. So you can start with that, and as your money grows, you can invest in more riskier assets. I hope that answers your question.
I want to believe. If you have further questions, you can drop it on the group chat. Well, if a more in-depth class is going to, if you said yes, more in-depth analysis and teaching on finance will happen later in the month of November. It's going to be a paid session, but this one will be more comprehensive and very hands-on. This you can also advise and say, okay, this is what we've seen, this is what the market is saying. I think you should invest here, you should do this, you should do that, and also practical steps that you can take. Please can we appreciate our speaker, Miss Omotolani, as she has taken us through this short but very, very in-depth explanation on areas that you can invest in. More, I personally went back to watch the video from January and I was asking myself, why didn't I do all that was in this video? I started some and got carried away and started doing it again. And I'm amazed. One thing that took me off guard was I think it was Nestle used to be 800 naira early this year, late last year. Nestle is now 1,800. I thought I was like, why didn't I buy this? Because I remember mentioning from there are very good stocks that have continued to be good because of the market that they're in. So it sometimes is not our inability to do, is an inability to have the adequate knowledge to do what we should do. So on this note, I will say good night to everyone who has joined. If you have questions, please do well to drop in the session. Like I said, the November session is going to be more comprehensive, more classes, more speakers, lecturers. It's going to be a paid session, but it's relatively reasonable. The amount is not too much. It's so that we are sure that you are committed and you take actions. You take actions. You take actions. Thank you very much. God bless you. Good night.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Bye.